Hello, everyone. Welcome to the She Can Say It podcast. My name is Erica Burnett, founder, and I am here with the lovely Dr. Sheila A. Olive. Miss Sheila, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful to have you always. And we got a much needed topic. I think it's a much needed topic today, especially for our sister girls out there.
hmm
Are, dealing with our physical appearance. So the name of this podcast is titled Finding Safety Within Learning to Trust Your Body Again. So,
hmm
I'm gonna start out with a question and then I'm going to do some statistics. I did research on it. So my question is, have you ever felt like exhausted, anxious, and had no understanding as to why you felt that way?
I would say, when have I not felt that way almost? That's the rhetorical answer.
Huh?
I think that as a woman, because we carry so much weight and have the ability to multitask,
Mm-hmm.
it triggers our inner fight or flight syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is um, being overwhelmed or hyperstimulated is another form of trauma. And that trauma activates our amygdala, which is a gland within the lower temporal brain. And that amygdala puts us in survival mode. It's like a switch goes off,
Mm-hmm.
and that switch tells us you're not safe.
Mm-hmm.
And so your body then, in turn, reacts to um, forms of attack,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're physical, whether they're emotional, whether they're spiritual. Your body begins to react to the attack.
Mhm.
And so what happens is all of your body starts to change. Your digestion begins to change, your muscle tension changes, your hippocampus begins to delude and tell you that you don't know with whether you're in the past, the present, or the future. So your timeline
Oh, your
becomes
photo, oh, excuse me, Sheila, your photo is showing instead of your face while you're talking.
info. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know what happened.
This technology,
Okay.
I tell you, go ahead.
Well, what happens is your timeline begins to be distorted, and so you start to have like a form of brain fog. So you don't really understand whether you're in past, present, or future. So you get disorientated.
Hmm.
And so um, we all, especially in this day and time when we're inundated with so much information, we can all easily find ourselves in a form of um, being overwhelmed or hyperstimulated or triggered or traumatized by any given number of things.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's we just don't, I don't think like early on we don't know how or want or not taught how to listen to our bodies. We think a lot of times, every time your stomach makes a noise or it feels funny, oh, I'm hungry. When that's not always the case. A lot of times it might be stress that might just make your stomach feel that way, and you just don't know what that is.
right.
I'm going to use some statistics. I'm going to read that I did research on. And now, if you ever struggled with your body, I do want everyone to know that you're not alone. There are many women out here who struggle with their bodies. And for example, research shows that nearly 7 to 8 out of every 10 women report being dissatisfied with their bodies. Now think about that for a moment. You could be sitting around the table and you got 10 women, 7 to 8 of those women do not like their bodies. They want to change something about it.
Mhm.
And there's another that says even more heartbreaking than that. Studies show that about half of all girls begin experiencing body dissatisfaction before even becoming teenagers. So can you imagine a young lady, she hasn't even gotten to be 13 years old yet, and she does not even like how she looks.
Mhm.
Whatever reason, either it's peer pressure, maybe in school, people pick on her or whatever have you. Could be a number of reasons. Watching television and she's comparing herself to what the people on TV look like, and those look like that, so she wants to change it at such an early age. To me, that's crazy.
Mhm.
And one more is that and women account for more than 90% of cosmetic procedures performed in the United States each year. 90% or women are out there changing their bodies because they don't like the way they look.
Mhm.
90%, that's a huge number. In the United States, that's a huge number. But
Yeah.
here's the question I want to ask you, Miss Sheila, and a lot of other women out there, is that are you really changing your body because you hate the bodies, or you hate your bodies, or are you hoping that changing your body will help you feel accepted and loved?
Mhm. I think the trigger for changing our bodies is the false narrative that's been painted about us, probably early on in life. Like you
Mhm.
stated, a lot of times young girls will have a bad body image because of things they've seen in the media, magazines, because they usually picture models who are thin, tall, and we don't all fit into that formula. And so, and also peer pressure, the trauma from peer pressure can change our self-image.
Mhm.
But it's funny. I was talking with another group that I belong to, and last night we had a podcast about false narratives,
Mhm.
and how other people's words can paint a picture of the canvas of who we are,
Mhm.
and but at some point we have to disassociate ourselves with that false narrative.
Mhm.
We have to realize that God, he said, when he created us, he created masterpieces.
Mhm.
And so do we look at ourselves as masterpieces? Like you said, 9 out of 10 times, no.
Mhm.
But what what we need to do is not let external sources paint a picture of who I think I should be,
Mhm.
or what I think I should look like.
Mhm.
I'm 4'11", which is atypical for a Black woman. I'm 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 just over being a little person,
Uh-huh.
and just under being considered 5 feet.
Uh-huh.
And so um, that in turn causes me to stand out in the crowd when I don't want to,
Mhm.
because I'm the smallest person in the room
Uh-huh.
next to the kids,
Uh-huh.
you know. And so, um, I had to learn to like what I was. I am short, and really, there's not much I can do about that. I mean, I can put on heels, but heels aren't always comfortable for
Mhm.
me anymore. So I could, you know, so I try to have a personality that makes me equal to anyone else in the room. I don't look at myself as less than other people because of my height differentiation. I'm not triggered or traumatized by that. So um, it at one time when I was younger, yes, it did bother me.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned to fight through it. That there's that fight or flight
Mm-hmm.
um, thing again. I learned to fight through it, and I had to interrupt the negative talk that was coming externally and the negative self-talk that was coming from internally to
Mm-hmm.
say that I can match up with anyone. you know, um, who I am physically, being short in stature, doesn't change who I am naturally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you know, I have degrees, I have status in the community. So you have to find ways to make yourself equal to other people,
Mm-hmm.
and not allow that self-talk or that negative perception that other people have about you to take over who you really are.
Good advice. I'm going to give you talk about a story about myself. I don't like wearing glasses, right? Gotta wear them. I couldn't escape that. Both of my parents wear glasses. I started wearing glasses when I was 9.
Mm-hmm.
I was teased so bad in high school about my glasses. I was called goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Every day, all day, my fellow students, that's all they would do, to the point it hurt my feelings so bad that I literally skipped school for like a whole week, and my mother did not know it. I didn't even go to school.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to school because of it. They made me feel so bad about myself, the fact that I had to wear glasses, that I just didn't even want to be around anybody. And to
Mm-hmm.
this day, I believe that that's why I don't like wearing glasses, is because I was teased so bad
Right.
about it. Um,
Right.
I'm a little lighter on it now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine with it now to a certain degree, but it does have an effect, and that's one of the main reasons why there's certain things about ourselves that we do not like, is because we suffered, either it's bullying or comparison when we're younger, somebody just
Yes.
one word saying that, you got a big head or you got a big nose or something like that. We carry that and we play it like a tape recorder in our minds throughout
Mm-hmm.
our childhood and into adulthood until we can work through it. So that's why I said, ladies out there, you are not alone, because we've all gone through some kind of pressure regarding our physical appearance.
Right.
The world works against that. The world does not want you to love who you are. The world
Mm-hmm.
wants you to constantly compare yourself to other people. And who set the darn beauty standard anyway? That's what I want to know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Who says who is beautiful and not? Who gave them the right to say that?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's beauty in everybody. So
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's ridiculous. But I mean, that's one of the ways, but there's a few other ways. I think it's wait a minute. Yeah, childhood. Yep, absolutely. Went through that trauma or whatever have you. And then I wanted to go into, your body has been protecting you. Now, basically,
Mm-hmm.
that's like the signs that I mentioned earlier. Your
Yes.
muscles may tighten up.
Mm-hmm.
Think it's one thing and it's another.
Right.
Or your joint, you may have joint pain, because stuff like that, like stress is one of them. Stress shows up in multiple ways.
Mm-hmm.
You could get joint pain. Stress can cause that. Stress can cause disease,
Right.
cancer, and it's been proven. Stress
Right.
heightens everything. It heightens everything. It makes you think one thing is going on when something else is going on, and you don't even realize you're stressed.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to break out. Maybe, you might get acne. You
Mm-hmm.
might, bumps might start forming on your arms and stuff like that. And you get certain
Mm-hmm.
allergies and stuff. That stuff is your body basically trying to tell you something. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
protecting. And there's
Right.
multiple ways your body tries to protect.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There, stress, the symptoms of stress mimic chronic diseases. And so when you find yourself anxious, when you find yourself exhausted, when you find yourself having chronic muscle tension, or any other type of long-term illness, oftentimes we'll go to the doctor. I know a few friends of mine have gone to the doctor with chronic symptoms of illnesses, but the doctor couldn't find any diagnosis because basically what was going on, they were stressed out. And it's funny because in other countries, people's stress levels aren't as high as in the United States. There are some countries. I have a friend who lived in one of the islands, and they don't even have a word for stress.
Wow.
She
Wow.
said before she came here to the United States, she didn't know what stress was
See?
because they live such peaceful, um, tranquil, serene lives. Even when I go away and I go to places like Aruba, I think she lived in Trinidad, Tobago.
Okay.
They don't have a word for stress there. They didn't have a word stress. The word we use for stress does not exist in Trinidad Tobago because they don't have stress. And when I visit, I call Aruba my happy place because it's so tranquil there. The water is pure. You can see the bottom, the sand on the bottom of the ocean, the little fish, swimming around. The people are so happy. They have all kinds of festivals there. The food is delicious. The air is sweet and fresh. And in the evening, you get a breeze off the ocean. Who could be stressed there?
Right. Right.
And, and so there's less chronic disease there. The weather is typically 82 to 85 degrees every day. They get very little rain because it's a desert island. And when they do get rain, it rains for like 10 minutes and then that's over. So, the things that we worry about here in the United States, because um, we have been trained according to a stress mandate, um, that other places don't worry about those things.
Yeah.
We have a job, we're worried on the job. Then we're worried about losing the job. And then, you have a home, then you're worried about losing your home, or can you make the payments on your home, or can you keep up with the repairs on your home? So the things that um, we're told to strive for don't even bring us peace. And so um, we have to learn to live differently. We have to learn how to um, first have gratitude concerning the things you have. The way to counteract stress is live a life of gratitude. Be grateful for what you have, and not always striving for more, because we live in this society that tells us acquire things, and then after you get those things, get more things, because those things are not enough. You need more things. So it's always there's always a drive to do and be more than what you are.
And you know what? That sounds like emotional trauma. And the reason why I say that is because when you get to the point where you are always wanting,
Mhm.
that's your body saying something. That's your body giving you a message, and it's saying your internal being is saying that there's a void here.
Yes.
You're trying to fill it with a material thing, and I'm trying to tell you that that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that emotional, like we always drawn to materials thing. You got a car, the car is working.
Right.
You don't need another one. So why would you go out and get another car? You got 20 to 35 dresses in there. You don't wear 10 of them, but you at the store and you buying more stuff.
Right.
You're filling your house at every corner. Gotta have this, that, and the other. You gotta have this color, that color, that this gotta be, and you just keep going and you're happy for a moment. And
Mm-hmm.
after a while, that thing that you just bought gets old, and now I'm running out and I'm gonna get something else. That's one of the ways, that's a message. You have a void and your body is telling you and it's saying there's something going on here. You need to address it before you get yourself in trouble, basically. Before you
Mm-hmm.
go out and try to fulfill a need that
Mm-hmm.
will be detrimental to your livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff, like even like I said, the eating, that's a popular one because
Yes.
we stress eat. The minute something
Mm-hmm.
bothers us, our stomachs say we're hungry, and that's not the case. Sometimes you can drink a glass of water and you'll be fine.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just comes when we stop listening, and some of us don't even know. Like I said, I didn't know my stomach. I would get near someone, and my stomach would turn in knots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, what the heck is going on? And I didn't attribute it to a person because I did not know that somebody's spirit or their being could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Standing next to you, even talking on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Your spirit picks up on things like that when someone is in your space and they're not right. And I did not know that. People come into your life and stuff like that, and you feel a little off and
Mm-hmm.
you think maybe I'm tired. It's been a stressful week. I haven't gotten my rest and stuff like that. And sometimes that's not it. Sometimes it can be an individual or
Mm-hmm.
circumstance, and your stomach is in knots, not because you're in love.
Mm-hmm.
That's not always the case. You can tell that, you get butterfly. No,
Right.
there's a difference between butterflies and then your stomach muscles contracting because
Mm-hmm.
something your nervous system is saying something's not right about this person. You need to back up and you need to think about it first before you jump head on. We don't do enough of that. We don't trust, and I think it's not a trust in our intuition.
Right.
We don't trust our intuition. We don't trust that voice that says, back up, you're in danger.
Right.
We make excuses for it because sometimes we want that thing so bad that we ignore our own voice. We don't take heed to it. And that's one of the ways that, we don't trust. We don't trust what we think,
Mm-hmm.
trust what we feel a lot of times, and that gets us in trouble. A lot of situations we could have avoided happen because we didn't trust ourselves enough
Mm-hmm.
to know that we're okay, that we're beautiful the way we are, height, stature, whatever it is, weight, whatever, brown eyes, blue eyes, green eyes.
Mm-hmm.
We have all of these attributes because it's for a reason. We were made this way for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta do a little bit better in trusting who we are. Like Sheila said, God doesn't make mistakes. We're masterpieces.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so if there was a mistake in it, he wouldn't have made us. We wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So it's the truth that we would not be here at all.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, let's see. Now, what we have to learn how to do is trust our bodies again.
Yeah.
And now how would you do that? How would you suggest that, listeners learn how to begin to trust their bodies again?
I think the the most effective way to learn how to trust our bodies
Mm-hmm.
again would be to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in this life is fast paced,
Mm-hmm.
fast food, fast internet, everything is fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order to compensate for the speed that life is taking, we have to slow down. take time to rest, take time to pull away from the constant visual of speed that surrounds us.
Mhm.
For instance, today is a Friday. It's Friday evening. You've worked all week. I'm sure in some type of fast-paced environment. And so what I typically do is I use my Friday evenings to not to rehearse what's happened all week,
Mhm.
but to reset myself and recenter myself and refocus myself according to the goals and the aspirations that I had for this particular week. So
Mhm.
that would mean at the beginning of the week, you need to set some goals. You need to have some aspirations. And as you go through the week, whether you're in a fast-paced environment or not, at the end of the week, you need to reassociate yourself with those goals and aspirations that you set at the beginning of the week. And that's how you bring yourself back into the present. Because another thing life does, it tells us to not live in the present. It tells you to think about the future, which creates anxiety, or look back at the past, which creates regret.
Mhm.
And so if we're in the present, then we can be at peace.
Mhm.
But look at, like I said, looking at the future, you'll find yourself being anxious. You'll find yourself creating scenarios that don't even exist. You'll find yourself coming to catastrophic ends in situations that
Mhm.
haven't even birthed themselves yet. Or you could look back at the past and try and be in total regret, depression, and fear from things that you've missed or done wrong or just weren't able to figure out. And there's no band-aid you can put on the past to fix it. It's
Mhm.
the past.
Mhm.
It's over. And
Mhm.
we need to let it go. We've all made mistakes. The Bible tells us all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. We all have.
Mhm.
The best person.
Mhm.
I'm sure the Pope has had a minute where he's been,
Yeah. Hopefully,
we have all,
he ain't gonna tell nobody, but yeah.
we've all been in that place.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. We've all been in that place. None have been exempt from that except Christ, who is pure, who is perfect.
Mhm.
And so, like I said, no band-aid that we're gonna put on the past can ever fix it.
Mhm.
What we need to do is resolve ourselves in it. That's my past. I've made mistakes, but now in my present, I'm going to do my best and put my best foot forward and try to make quality decisions
Mhm.
for my future.
Mhm.
And so, to get back to your original question, I believe slowing down and being intentional
Mhm.
will help us to live a better quality of life.
Wonderful. And that's great advice. Slow it on down. You can't listen
Mhm.
to your body if you're always constantly moving.
Right.
You gotta sit in some stuff
Hmm.
times. Um, now, okay, oh, this is okay. This is a good one. Um, now I did a little research on this and I think we talked about this one time before. We did a self-talk video, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
Before. And that's one of the things that I came across was speak kindly to yourself.
Yes.
And that's a huge one. The way you talk to yourself on a daily basis
Hmm.
is what will carry you through
Hmm.
and stop you from distrusting yourself. your inner being, distrusting even your physical body. If you talk to yourself and you speak kindly to yourself, it's like affirmations. I'm capable. I'm smart. I'm worthy of love. I can accomplish anything I set my mind to. All
Right.
of those things, that's speaking kindly to yourself.
Yes.
It's very important. Self-talk is extremely important for your day-to-day being. That's how you stay connected to yourself. And that's how you learn yourself as well. You got to learn yourself, what you're good at, what you're not good at, and be okay with it, even the stuff that you're not good at, because you're not supposed to be equipped learning how to do everything, being an expert in every field. Because if that's the case, there will be no need for anybody else if we all could do it. You know what I mean? And so we're supposed to be in relationship. We need one another. So be okay with not knowing everything, and then don't allow other people to tell you you should. Because if you don't have that capability, you don't have it for a reason. You know what I mean? So don't undersell you, don't undersell yourself. Don't
Right.
let people, tell you what you should be, what you shouldn't be, what you should learn, what you shouldn't, unless it's sound advice from somebody, like
Right.
a mentor or a counselor or something like that. Thanks, Sheila.
Yeah. Well, the Bible, I always, because I'm, you know, in ministry, I like to bring things back to the Word of God. So if Philippians 4:8 tells us, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, um, whosoever are lovely, whosoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. So our minds have a tendency to wander, just like little children in the store. When you're not paying attention to them, they're going to wander off. So when you're not being intentional with your thought process, your mind is going to wander. And undoubtedly, your mind is going to go one of two places, because your mind really is always in the present. But if your mind is wandering, it's going to go to the past or it's going to go to the future. And just like I said a few minutes ago, if it goes to the past, it's going to start regretting. If it goes to the future, it's going to start being filled with anxiety and fear and frustration. And you'll become overwhelmed. And it begins to spiral out of control. So if we focus our mind on what it says in Philippians 8, think on the wonderful things, the glorious things, the honest things, the true things, then we can maintain a level of stability that's required to keep our life and to keep our mind focused. Because, everything around us is reminding us what we don't have. I'm not married, but you go look on Facebook, you look online, everything's about being married, everything's about being part of a couple. Everything's, oh, this laundry detergent works better if it's two people pouring it in the machine, that kind of thing. So it's just, so they're constant reminders of where you're not and what you don't have. So what it does, you talked about it a little bit earlier. It what it subliminally does, it creates an addiction in us that causes us to um, desire things we don't have, and then we start fulfilling them fulfilling those spaces with things that don't even make sense.
Mhm.
So, for instance, let me give you a great example. My first marriage was, unfulfilling. I had a bad first marriage. And
Mhm.
so, what I did to compensate for not having a good relationship in my marriage, I shopped. So, that shopping was part of a dopamine addiction
Mhm.
for satisfaction
Mhm.
for me. So when I shopped, I felt good,
Mhm.
right? And so, did it fix my marital problems? No, it probably made them worse.
Yes.
So, um, so we can't use our problem as a antidote to fix the issues. We can't, use unrelated things like alcohol, shopping, smoking, or sleeping around. Even, I could have done that. I
Mhm.
could have fornicated. I could have found myself somebody who, I thought would have fulfilled my emotional need, but that would have only been for a moment, because the Bible tells us again that sin is only pleasurable for a moment.
Mhm. Yep.
That means shopping, all of those addictive behaviors only satisfy you temporarily.
Mhm.
You've got to find a place of peace. You've got to stay centered and stay focused and stay reset and stay intentional if you want to live a life of peace.
Mhm. And you said it when you said those things are temporary. So, our sisters out here who want to get their bodies augmented, they want to change their
Right.
eyes and the lips, and they just want to add, they want to make the boobs bigger, the butt got
Right.
higher, and all that stuff. Temporary now. I done seen some stuff. I done seen it's one episode of Ayala Van Zandt.
Mhm.
A young lady just kept going. She had one booty lift, then she goes back and she gets another, and ended up the whatever they used to put in her behind broke, and it spread throughout her body to the point where she couldn't even sit
Right.
down for long periods of time. And you
Right.
could see the infection turned her legs blue and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. And it took a long time for her. She had to have multiple surgeries
Right.
for her to actually get back to, and she's not fully back to herself, but she's comfortable now. But what I
Right.
and that stuff will get you in trouble. Trying
Yeah.
to please, because when we do that, we think we're pleasing ourselves. No, you got that from
Mhm.
someone. Someone somewhere said something to you
Right.
that in your mind made you believe that you are not good enough. You didn't
Mhm.
look good enough. You are not good enough. So you decided maybe if I get this one thing, it'll make my life better. People will love me. No, because people will still dislike you. There will always be somebody who don't like you
Right.
for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's something you will never be able to hide from is someone disliking you or
Right.
having a problem with the way you look, or they don't like your nose, your eyes are not the right shade of brown, all sorts of stuff. Somebody's always going to find something wrong no matter what you do. You could literally fix everything on your body and you will still have somebody come to you and say, I think you did that wrong. I think you got it too big,
Right.
too small. So we gotta, as women, let go of that stuff, because so many sisters I have heard have lost their lives. There's so many stories out there who they went under the knife, didn't have to, and never made it home.
Right. Right.
So somehow you have got to dig deep.
Mhm.
You have got to look and love yourself for who you are. There's a young lady, I don't know if you saw her, Sheila, and right now her name escapes me,
Mhm.
but she is in Africa. She's a lawyer in Africa, and I cannot remember her name. And she put a picture of herself on Facebook, and got so many bad comments about that she was not beautiful, she needed to have work done and all this stuff.
Mhm.
I'm proud to say she stood her ground and she
Mhm.
left that photo of herself up and she said, I know I'm not aesthetically beautiful, but I love myself.
Right.
And now girlfriend get thousands and thousands of positive comments from her sisters and stuff like that. She
Mhm.
was up on Facebook and she really does love herself and you can feel it. That's what you gotta be. She's a great example of that. She didn't care what nobody said on social media. They
Mhm.
were not gonna stop her from feeling the love that she felt for herself.
Mhm.
That's the place we all gotta be. We all gotta get there.
Mhm.
You've got to know who you are in God and see that's the key.
Mhm.
Because once you know your father loves you, he made you the way you are for a reason. He didn't make a mistake. Then nobody else can have anything. It'll fall on deaf ears. Whatever
Right.
someone says about you after that, it won't matter.
Right.
It won't.
Well, the word tells us that our bodies are a temple.
Mm-hmm.
And so the temple, what dwells within the temple is God's presence.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to come and dwell inside of us, where in the Old Testament, he dwelt in amongst us.
Mm-hmm.
But in the New Testament, under the new covenant, he wants to live inside of us
Mm-hmm.
and have direct relationship with us and direct impact on our lives. And we know that the media, social media, has set a standard, an unrealistic standard of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is not a size 6. Everybody is not 5'9" to 5'10". Everybody doesn't have blonde hair and blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all different. I've learned that I heard someone say once that we were flowers in a garden, all different, but yet all beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And even at 4'11" and more pounds than I care to be right now, I've got to love myself. I've got to take care of myself. And sure, there are things that I could do to change, um, you know, the way I look, that may help me feel better about myself. But personally, because it's my personal choice, I would not augment my physical appearance through surgical procedures because, for me, that's not for me. Maybe that might be for someone else, but I think that if we look at ourselves deep within ourselves and just be grateful,
Mm-hmm.
we'll find a sense of satisfaction in who we are. A friend of mine told me, you dress that size, 14, 16 body up and love who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Love who you are. And that's what I try to do. Love who I am. She told me, she said, where's your lipstick? Put your lipstick on. Always have your lipstick on. you know you know and there are ways and things that we can do to find joy in who we are. I watch on Facebook, and I see, because of the algorithm, I get a lot of um, women, plus size women, teaching you how to dress your body, teaching you how to put on um, uh, outfits that complement you instead of showing the things that we have a tendency to have a problem with the most.
Mm-hmm.
Some one lady, she has a large midsection,
Mm-hmm.
so she shows you how to dress based on, that, and being able to camouflage that part of her body. So when she puts on a dress and dresses up, it doesn't even look like she has a large middle section.
Mm-hmm.
So there are ways that we can There are makeup tips that you can do to reshape your nose, to contour your eyes, to, you go to the hairdresser, you can get any kind of hair you want these days,
Mhm. Yeah.
and so there are things we could do to help to, um, find our place of peace with ourselves. But I think the the best thing to do is love who you are and love who God made you to be.
Mhm.
That's all.
That's a great, great, great advice. And
Mhm.
I was honing on the part where you said you can do this. They got hair for you, they got certain things you can do to your face and all of that stuff. But even with all of that, if you don't learn how to, like you said, love yourself, go within, all of that stuff is not even gonna matter. You're gonna all this makeup, and you're gonna
Right.
do all this makeup and all this hair you're gonna put on, and you're gonna, do all the camouflage and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, if you don't love yourself internally, 100%, you're gonna find something wrong, even with all of the work that you have just put in
Right.
this stuff done. That means that the next step is something that could possibly be detrimental to your life because you are not satisfied with all the work that you've already done.
Hmm.
And then now you're looking for something else. So you ladies, my sisters, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful just going under the knife to make yourself look a different way.
Hmm.
The only way you need to go under the knife is if it is a much needed surgery.
Hmm.
It's life threatening, and the doctor said, if you don't do this, you are going to leave this earth. That's the only way
Hmm.
to be going under the knife for any reason. There's no
Right.
reason for you to have somebody cut you open to make your butt bigger, smaller, whatever you're trying to do, just so you can be physically beautiful. And somebody is gonna find a problem with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta start from the beginning, because it doesn't even matter really. You could be, people think being small is the way it is. You be happy
Hmm.
smaller. Well, you got some people who are thin who are not happy with the way they look like, with the way.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what size you are. That's not the point. Your size, your height, the shape of your body means nothing if you don't like who you are on the inside.
Right.
That's the thing right there. You have got to learn how to love yourself from inside out, not outside in. It doesn't work like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to do that. You have got to learn how to love who you are from beginning to end.
Yes.
Inner beauty always exudes out. When people say you're a beautiful person, 9 times out of 10, it's a combination of both. They're looking at your inner beauty as well as your outer beauty, because your inner beauty is what shines through. That's what people really see, is your inner beauty, not your outer beauty.
Hmm.
You got some nice looking people, physically beautiful, skin flawless, and all this stuff. And it worked for a minute for some people, but you have some folks who will tell you, they nasty. I do not, they act ugly, is what they say. And when they
Hmm.
say ugly, they're not talking about their physical appearance, they're talking about their inner appearance. That
Hmm.
it just didn't work out because they act a little ugly. Their inner being is not right.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, what really matters is your internal being. That's what's
Yes.
carrying you through life, not your physical being. Because physicality fades, and I hope y'all know
Yes.
that when you get older.
Yes.
Sorry, everything will not look the same. I hate to say y'all,
Yeah.
stuff start falling, like gravitating towards the cement. You know what I mean? You start, because my hair has already started thinning from,
Hmm.
because I have alopecia. And just from menopause itself, my hair started to shed. Now I'm not bald, but it started to shed. So
Hmm.
things are going to change. Your body is going to change. You are not always going to be young and with smooth skin and all this other stuff. When you go into that transition, things will happen to your body you never, ever expected. and it is no joke. And so you really need to work on self-love real fast before you get.
What I say is, as you get older, your body redefines itself.
It does. It does.
And so, as your body redefines itself, then you need to redefine how you accept your new body. My
Mhm.
body now doesn't look like when I was 18. It
Mm-mm.
doesn't look like when I was 30. It doesn't look like when I was 50.
Mm.
And so, at 67, a lot of people don't believe I'm 67, but at 67, I love who I am. Do I want to lose a few pounds? Yes. But I have to be intentional and be responsible about that. Nobody can do it for me.
Mm.
I can come, like I said, I can have it done, through external, surgeries or things like that, plastic surgery. But, I don't want to have to go through, I've had 5 surgeries, so I don't want to have to go through the pain of recovery again. I
Mhm.
don't want to invest that time in recovery. I want to invest that time in living.
Mhm. Right, right.
So,
Absolutely.
yes.
Absolutely. Okay, we get ready to close. Oh, that time went fast. It's
Yeah,
we
it
get ready to close
is.
out.
Yes.
And Miss Sheila, do you have any other words? You're very encouraging through the entire taping of this video. Do you have like any other encouraging words for the listeners?
Well, I love quotes. I love quotes. And
Mhm.
here's a quote I found that I like to leave with your audience today. The goal isn't to feel happy, it's to feel safe. From safety, happiness can grow. So don't let happiness be your first priority. Let safety, which is safety, not only for your physical self, but safety for you emotionally, safety for you spiritually. And once you find safety and you become secure, then happiness will come from that.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great advice. That is great advice. Happiness. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. You got to love who you are. That's the
Yes.
way it's gonna happen. That's the only way it's gonna happen.
Yes.
I would say to you guys, your body is not your enemy. Treat your body well because the same body that you're in now is carried you through so many things over the years. Heartbreak, sickness, sleepless nights, etc. And you're still here. You got through all of that and you're still here. That's because your body carried you through those moments where that were uncomfortable, that you didn't know what to do and when to do it.
Mm,
Your inner being guided you through all of that so you could make it to the other side. You're still here. So
yeah.
so evidently your body is a safe place to be because if it was not, you wouldn't still be breathing, living and breathing and able to move forward for the next 24 hours. So body is not your enemy. Treat it right. Love yourself.
Mhm.
Positive self-talk, affirmations daily until you get to the point where you love who you are inside and out 100%.
Yes. I love it.
So thank you so much for watching this video.
Yes.
Sheila and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to sit down and have conversations with you and your audience.
I appreciate that. You know, you the crew, so it's actually your audience as well. So this your audience too. So it's our audience, it's our audience. This is God's platform. It's not mine.
Yes.
Not mine.
Amen.
We're just sharing. We're sharing our insight, and actually the insight that he gave us through experiences throughout our lives. So
Yes,
we picked up a few things along the way, and we just
along the
share.
way.
Absolutely. Like I said,
Yes,
just to say on this note, you know, this podcast, we are journeying just like you are. We're not here knowing everything. We don't know everything. The stuff that we share, we do a little bit of research here and there, but when we share our personal experiences, these are our personal experiences. This is the wisdom that we've gained from what we've already gone through. It's not something that, just pops up in our mind. We had to experience it so we could share all of this with you. We're walking this walk the same as you are. It's just that
yes,
we have done it in advance of some people who are younger, and trying to save you the time and the energy on a lot of issues that can be resolved and worked on before you even have to go through it. We don't want you to go through any trauma or anything like that if not necessary.
yes,
That's why we get on here and share.
yes.
Mhm.
Amen. Trying to save you the heartbreak.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So
yeah.
thank you for watching this video, and you have any comments, please drop them below, and there is a resource available for this video, so you'll be able to do a free download, a guide or a workbook. By the time you see this video, it could be either or.
Yeah.
Okay, but please help yourself, and we'll be posting them on social media. So thank you so much.
Yes,
If you have any questions for myself or Sheila, please don't hesitate to drop that comment below the video. So
yes.
see you next time, and thank you for dropping by.
Bye-bye.
Bye.